Welcome to the Self-Storage Show, where I have conversations with my industry friends, talk with owners and vendors, and share tales about my management company, 3 Mile Storage. Let's go. Hey everyone, so I just finished putting together this new book, 3 Mile Storage Management, 3 Zones of Excellence. This is our framework for success in self-storage. Want a free copy? Okay, here's the deal. Book a strategy session with me. Together we're going to walk your business through the 3 Zones of Excellence framework. And I've done countless sessions like these over the years with many self-storage owners. I guarantee you that together, we're going to reveal some ways to increase your leads, rentals, and revenue. So go to 3milestorage.com and book your time today. Hi everyone, this is Jim Ross with the Self-Storage Show. Got another episode here with you, kind of the part of the interview series I've been doing. Have Derek Walker with me. Let me give you a quick little intro, then I'll let you take it away. He's the principal over at Box Pro and oversees development and finance for Storage of America. Did I get all that right?
That's right. Yep.
Well, I'll let you kind of introduce yourself, kind of give us a little Cliff Note version, who you are, what you do, and we'll go from there.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Jim. It's great to be on the show. I appreciate the opportunity. So I've been in the self-storage world for a little over 10 years. So my dad started the company Storage of America back in 2003 with doing a big box conversion, which I know we see those all over the place now, but those were not very common back in the day. So there was, he was taking a risk with that first facility in Indianapolis, and everything went well. And then it was kind of all up from there. So I've been involved through my college years. I would kind of help him design sites and run the numbers and everything. And then I got a master's in real estate development, lived in New York for a couple of years. And then I started working in consulting. So I worked with an economic development consulting firm where we worked with municipalities and private clients, trying to figure out how to kind of revitalize downtown areas or large, kind of dilapidated shopping centers, and sort of got into the consulting world that way. Then at that point, my dad, Rob Walker, was growing the business a lot, asked for my help to come back. So I came back. This is maybe about 7 years ago or so.
Yeah.
So we've been working together full time. We've been developing a lot of sites all in the Midwest, both ground up and conversions. And we've got about 22 facilities in operation right now, and 20 plus in various stages of development in the pipeline. So we got a lot going on. And then I also run a consulting firm, Box Pro, where we do feasibility studies for new development. That's both for self-storage and for RV boat parking. And then we also do market identification studies. So it's kind of fun for me to mix both worlds of the development and kind of the market analysis consulting side of it as well. So
that's cool. Hey, you got a lot of history going on. It doesn't sound like you're bored. That's for sure.
Yeah, never a dull moment.
Yeah. How cool is to do that with your dad? That's pretty. You don't hear that very often. That's pretty cool to do that kind of growth and do that like together. That's neat.
For sure, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's my dad was like, want to be a barber someday? Because he's been a barber for 60 years. So little different trajectories for for us.
Yeah. Well, you got a great haircut.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, he did retire 10 years ago. But it's called the Floby. It's all good.
It's the way to do it. Nice.
You guys have some crazy growth. That's awesome. And you got 20 something in development right now too?
Yeah, and that ranges from sites under contract up through sites under construction too. So nice. Yeah, we're just trying to grow fast. It's fun, and trying to kind of solve for the issues along the way of how do we finance these things? How do we get them built quickly? How do we get them leased up? That's kind of the name of the game.
And we were talking about earlier, it's not one size fits all. Every site's a little bit different. So you have to kind of be creative sometimes. I'm sure, speaking of you on the financial end, make sure the numbers pencil out, things like that. But then you briefly mentioned something like, "Oh, I want to talk about that." So kind of
Yeah.
about the remote managed stuff. You've been doing that for your sites. Is that for existing or is that for the ones that are coming up? What do you
It's
do with that?
yeah, so it's for both.
Okay.
And you're right on kind of the not having a one size fits all solution for all sites because our portfolio is most of our existing portfolio are conversions. So we've done converted Targets and
Hmm.
Macy's and department stores. We've converted office buildings, um, industrial warehouses. So we've got like a good variety of buildings, and with every building comes issues,
Sure.
different issues, and so it's kind of hard to adapt everything to purely remote managed with some of those bigger facilities. And so that's what we're working through right now is we firmly believe that's the way the industry is growing.
Yeah.
Um, is that's the way the industry is going is remote managed, and it's a lot easier to run your sites efficiently that way. So we've had open tech kiosks at all of our facilities, um, but they were kind of I guess kind of a secondary thing to our managers.
Gotcha.
Um,
Yeah.
so but then just the last year we've decided technology has come a long way since then. People after COVID, I mean, you obviously know this better than
Yeah.
anyone, after COVID people are just accustomed to ordering McDonald's on the kiosk and ordering groceries on your phone and being in kind of a more operating in a more mobile environment. So we decided to make the full push. So we've been working with KISS Solutions on their technology. So they do kind of the kiosk rental system, but then they have a two-way video. So you walk in the store and there's cameras that detect movement, and it sends a message to one of our remote managers that's just working at home, and it says, hey, you've got a customer that's entered the office at this facility. It pops them on the two-way video, and sometimes it takes the customers by surprise because they don't expect to walk in and see a
Yeah.
person on the screen. But it's great, and a lot of people are really grateful. They talk to the person. They don't have to type anything. They just do the rental through the video. And
Hmm.
other people are like, you know what? I'm good. I see the kiosk here. I'm just going to do the rental myself. And they say, that's great. Just let me know if you need help. So,
Interesting.
so we're adapting our model to fit that. But yeah,
Oh,
it's been a process.
that's great. I mean, I talk with owners all the time that are very interested in doing that. In fact, I talked to someone this morning, had like 24 locations, and that wasn't really on their radar when they asked me about doing something like that. Like it's technology's here, sometimes it depends on what kind of vehicle you plug it in, but the technology is there,
It
and
exactly.
it's a matter of certain places, you have to have like a what's the word, like a vestibule kind of a thing where
Yeah.
it's can be dedicated just for that area. Is that
Right.
something you've kind of come across? You have like dedicated
Yeah.
area for that kind of thing?
That is what we've done. So like our kiosk or our conversions will, carve off a little part of kind of the vestibule or build a separate office just inside the entrance that just
Yeah.
houses the kiosk. For our ground up sites, we have a little prototype that's kind of a stick built. It's like a 10-foot by 10-foot little office, more or less, but
Yeah.
all it has is the kiosk and the video.
Okay. Do you keep at, I mean, don't get too much in the weeds here, but I'm just curious because I always try to put myself in like the owner's position when they're listening to this because I'm sure questions
Yeah.
coming to mind. Do you
Right.
keep that thing open like 24/7, or is there certain like hours that that little vestibule thing is available?
Yeah, it's a good question. So in general, they're open all the time.
Yeah.
There are some facilities, like we have a facility in Flint, Michigan, that we try to keep hours more limited there. So it's not a one answer across the board. We have to adjust our hours occasionally, but
Yeah.
in general, we try to keep that open 24 hours.
What's your concerns about vandalism? People like, ooh, free TV. Does that come across?
Yeah. Luckily, we haven't had anything stolen so far.
Nice,
Knock
good.
on
Again, I know these are the questions that pop up, so
yeah.
I was curious. Yeah.
But we've definitely had people sleeping in the area in the vestibule area, and
Mm-hmm.
So with the cameras, like the cameras we have are, they use the rhombus technology. That's kind of the AI
Yeah,
driven.
that's cool.
Um, and that helps a lot. We've also used the, um, what is it through OpenTech, the camera system that's kind of the security system where if you see someone that's on the property after hours, they come on and say,
Yeah,
"Hey, you're not supposed to be here. Get off."
like the Falcon Eye or something like that. It's called.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
That's worked out really well for
Has it?
our
Really?
some of our higher crime areas. Yeah, that's worked really well for us.
So for those that are listening to this, it's a technology with, so it's almost like being monitored, but it's AI monitored. So when something comes up, that the camera can differentiate, if it's
Yeah.
something legit or not, and then a person can actually come on, being like,
Yeah.
hey, you in the red shirt, what the hell you doing? Like,
Yeah.
and stop things. It's actually it's pretty cool. I've yet to use it myself. That's why I want to keep talking with other people that are actually using that tech. So you've enjoyed it, huh?
It's been good. Yeah. And ideally, you're not in a high crime area to be
Yeah.
honest. But if you are, yeah, it's actually been most effective. Like we've had some of our facilities, we've got a facility that's pretty close to downtown in St. Louis,
Okay.
um, that has had crime issues. And we've tried having security guards on site, and it just hasn't been that effective for us. It's really expensive. Half the time they're just asleep in their car. Like it doesn't do much. But once we started installing these cameras, it's been like, yeah, it's been like night and day. It's been really successful and a lot cheaper than paying a
Really?
security guard.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm just kind of curious, and if I'm going too much of the way, just tell me to knock it off. But do you do it for mostly on the gate, or you have it kind of throughout the facility?
Um, so we've only implemented it at this camera system, with the kind of the voice,
Yeah.
the monitored cameras.
Modern. Yeah.
We've only done that at 3 facilities, and we kind of have both. So we have one on the entrance, and then we'll have a couple inside as well. Uh,
Gotcha.
or if there's like sensitive areas, like other doors around the property that
Yeah.
have problems. Yeah. So you kind
Oh,
of have to be strategic about it. But
well, if this piques your interest, I'm going to get them on the show. We're going to talk more in depth on this kind of stuff, and
yeah, there we go.
I'll do a demo. There we go. But no,
Yeah.
this is one I want to hear, because I want to hear these real world examples of what owners are actually utilizing. Because if you figured it out, there's 10,000 more owners that don't have a clue, and they just want
Yeah.
some sort of direction of who's been there and done that, and if they can avoid some pitfalls, sweet.
Right.
We did our job.
And yeah, and like you said, I mean, with the shift to remote management, when you don't have someone on the property all the time, I mean, there's a lot more you have to think about. And security is one of those things that, just the presence of someone, if someone just knows a manager on site, like that obviously deters a lot of crime. But
Mhm.
when you don't have that and people start to think, oh, no one's on site, what can I get away with? So it's these taking advantage of these, technological advancements on the security side is
Yeah.
critical.
No, that's something that sometimes gets neglected, frankly. And so I'm glad you brought that up, because I hear a lot of remote managed, and they just think, hey, cool, close the office, got a call center, job's done. Like, no,
Yeah.
there's more to this. Of course, the boots on the ground and all that, but having to focus on security, because especially like when you hear like the people, why did you choose us?
Mm,
Yes, it's price. We all know price. Well, the next thing on the list is security. That's always the next thing that people are going to be saying
absolutely.
why they choose you. So I think, obviously
Mm,
you want to have that there, but yeah, you talk about it online, you talk about it on your website about these kind of security features, because if you got it,
yeah,
sell it. Yeah.
that's a great point. Yeah, it's one of those sort of intangible things that drives a lot of your success on the rental rate side. If people feel secure, then they'll stay longer. They'll tell their friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. Great point.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. I know this is probably not the exact how we were planning on this conversation going, but as soon as you mentioned about the remote management, like, all right, cool, we got to talk about that, because I get that kind of question
That's
quite.
great.
Anyway, you mentioned earlier, and we'll kind of wrap this up here in a second, but you do feasibility studies too for people. So I want to be able to kind of plug
Yes.
I got you here. So talk about that.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
of
the
course.
company is called Box Pro. We do self-storage feasibility studies for new development or expansions. We also do RV boat parking facilities. There's been a huge uptick in
Huge
demand.
fan. Yeah.
Yeah, huge demand for those. Um, and so, yeah, so what we do is we take a holistic approach. We look at the development from a bunch of different angles. We take a look at the site. We do an in-depth analysis of all the competitors. We try to gauge, what rates are and what occupancy is. And, that's kind of a big part of it is the kind of the secret shopper aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
You learn a lot about a market that way, that's for sure. And then we do, run through kind of supply demand analysis. We look at historical rental rates, try to gauge seasonality and just trends in rates. Of course, we look at demographics, and then, we'll make a recommendation for a use mix if it's someone that's just has 7 acres and they're like, we've heard self storage is great, but we don't know anything about it. We'll try to put together a game plan that's like, hey, it looks like you can do this much non-climate storage, this much climate controlled, this much RV boat parking. We can kind of fine tune a mix for them that helps maximize their investment. And then, everything funnels into a financial analysis and a construction budget and everything. So the idea is that it gives you kind of a playbook. Not only does it tell you if your project is feasible or not, but it gives you a playbook of, here's the best way to maximize your value and here's what we should do.
Cool. Well, again, and you are in it doing the development and
Yeah,
ownership. So that's why I like too. You have that blend of it. So that's awesome. So
exactly. Yeah.
people are listening. How do they want to get more information? How do they reach out to you?
Yeah, thank you. So the best way, you can shoot me an email. It's dw@boxproconsulting.com. Or you can get on the website directly, boxproconsulting.com, and fill out the form there and schedule a meeting there as well.
Cool. Easy enough. All right. Well, thank you, Derek. We'll have to do this again. It'd be fun.
Okay, absolutely. Thanks so much, Jim.
Thanks a
Appreciate it.
lot. See ya. Before we wrap up, just a quick reminder. Do you want to level up your storage game? Visit theselfstorageshow.com. Grab some high-value freebies, check out top vendor spotlights, and stay in the loop with our newsletter. Do you want to chat about becoming a client with 3 Mile Storage Management? All the info's there. Plus, if you've got a story to share, we're listening. Everything you need is at theselfstorageshow.com.